So I recently finished this book that I could not put down and just wanted to see all the way through to the end, written by a fantastic Nigerian writer. And you can tell by the smile on my face that I'm really excited about talking about this book. So today I'm going to be reviewing Bridges Are for Burning by Bina Idonije. Let's get started. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Rachel here. As always, hit that subscribe button if you have not done so. If you have, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome to my new subscribers. I know quite a number of you followed me on here after you know what, but welcome. If you're new here, I create content on books, bookish recommendations, book reviews, reading and bookish tips or studying tips, as well as content on mental health and lifestyle. So like I said, today I'm going to be doing a book review on this lovely book. It's titled Bridges Are for Burning by Bina Idonije. I had not read anything by her before. In fact, I had not heard of her before I picked up this book. It was published by Masobe Books, and let's just say I really enjoyed it. It's fiction and I had a good time. Like, this was a well-written, intentional book, and I'm going to definitely like get into all the little bits and pieces in a bit. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and it's just maybe because at the time I'm shooting this video, I had just finished it up not too long ago, so I have all the feels still inside of me, and it's just really exciting. So Bina is a Nigerian writer, and her earliest memory of writing dates back to the 80s when she was about 6 or 7, and she wrote a book titled Johnny the Scallywag, which was written and illustrated by her with pencil, and she stuck its 7 or 8 pages together with water gum to create a bounded prose work. Today she's a lawyer by training. Hey, we have something in common. Whose random interests when she's not being a legal professional include drooling over plant species, hosting friends to drinks at her home, and spending meditative time at the beach while listening transcendently to music from eras past. She resides in the chaotic coastal city of Lagos, Nigeria. With her husband and 3 children. Bridges Are for Burning is her debut novel, and I applaud her, because if this is a debut novel, then she did a great job. And I'm just going to commend Masobe Books, the publisher, for, as usual, always coming through with, a very nice cover. A very nice cover that we can all be proud of, that we can all like carry around, and people will not think that there's something wrong. So yes, thank you to Masobe Books. Let me read out the synopsis of this book. So on the eve of Valentine's Day, Ogogo Gigi Dempster wore her heart on her sleeve. At almost 31, she was single and ready to mingle after nearly 2 years of relegating her love life to the curb in favor of growing her fledgling social media company. Her beautiful best friend Alana was newly pregnant for the love of her life, Benjamin Halal, and her sister Efemina Fifi was married to wealthy aristocrat Lotana Dike. But on that February 13th night, Gigi wasn't looking for what her best friend and sister had, not love or marriage, but a temporary connection and intimacy. How could she have known that that night would dramatically alter the course of her life? It's lovely. It's lovely. So like I said, it's fiction. It's like a modern contemporary romance kind of fiction with drama, and there's like family, there's betrayal, there's, a lot of interesting things. So let's get into it. Starting with the plot of this book, I absolutely enjoyed it. Like I said, this was a well-written, intentional book. When they say something is intentional, you feel like the author took her time to write the characters, to write the plot, to make the book flow. Like, the pages literally flowed into each other, and it made you want to keep turning the pages. It's not a particularly fast-paced kind of novel, but it's a novel that will keep you engaged, and the plot was very engaging. From the first page, I was engaged. In fact, I was over engaged. Look, this, what do you call that thing? Is it a prologue? The prologue had me like, nah. When I was done, I could not, I read the prologue at once. I could not even break and take a break. I think it was like, how many pages? Maybe like 20 something pages or what. I could not stop. I wanted to find out what exactly was going on, and it was interesting. It just opened you up into some juicy drama thing, you know. And I love the fact that, you know, the book was set in Lagos, which is something that I'm coming to. So yeah, I definitely commend the author on this plot, like the narrative. I love the way it followed the lives of these three women, Gigi, Fifi, and Alana, and their lives were so like intricately tied together, but the plot was very, very intentional in following their lives and a lot of the secrets that they had and how those things really sort of built up to the end, which was like a dramatic end kind of. And there were a lot of nice plot twists inside and out that you were like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. It was like one of these I don't really watch a lot of Nollywood movies, but it seemed like one of these calm, nicely put together Nollywood movies. To be honest, now that I think about it, you know what, I'd actually like to see this book as a movie, but I feel like if it's going to be developed as a movie, like TV adaptation, there has to be a little bit more in terms of the interpretation and expression from the producers or the directors. And so what happened is, and on my book reviews, I really try not to give any spoilers, so I'm not going to give any spoilers. So Gigi goes out, it's 13th of, you know, February, the day before Valentine's Day. Oh, she's single, she's trying to go out for a night out. She ends up going out. She was supposed to go with her friend who is pregnant, but then her friend couldn't make it, and then she ends up going out alone, and she ends up meeting up with a man, and a series of crazy things happen, of which we don't even know the consequences of the things that happened that night until much later in the book, and how that affects all the other main characters in the book. So yeah, I would say that principally Gigi, of course, was the principal, like, you know, main protagonist and main character in the book, but Fifi and Alana is her best friend, Fifi is her sister. It also followed their lives individually as, you know, they progressed along, and how maybe Gigi's decision sort of really affected all of them in general. That's 13th of February. There was enough drama and juice, like, you know, I liked it. The book was set, or is set, in Lagos, Nigeria. And if you guys haven't watched it, I did a 2-part series recently on books that are set in Lagos, Nigeria. So I'll definitely add this to that. And I love the way the author wrote Lagos. It was so realistic for me. Like, it felt like I was back in Lagos and I was literally experiencing life with the characters. She wrote it in a way that it was perfectly and intricately woven into the story, so it didn't feel like, oh, Lagos was separate from the story. I don't know if that makes sense at all, but I was very impressed with the way she set this book and made the characters, and the characters, which I'm coming to, let me not even talk too much, but I don't know, there was this nice interplay between the setting and the characters. There's a certain sort of lifestyle expectation of certain people that live in certain places in Lagos, and she was able to really model that, and so you could see that the setting also affected some parts of the plot and even the characterization of some of these characters. Whether or not she did that intentionally or not, I think that it was nicely executed. Now let's go to the writing style. I love the writing style of the book. This book is simple to read, easy to understand. I promise if I was not probably like over distracted, I might have finished this book in one sitting. Like I was telling my friend, it's something that she'll finish in one sitting because she's a fast reader. One of the major issues I had with this book was the fact that it actually came to an end, and that end was perfectly written. So as I was saying, the writing style of this book was easy to understand, simple English. It was written beautifully. Like I love books that are written beautifully, and this book was written beautifully and intentionally. She used the third-person narrative and explored the different lives, like I said, of Gigi, Fifi, Alana. She even looked at their husbands. That's Fifi's husband, who was Lotana Dike, and Alana's husband, who was Benji, and how these major characters and minor characters really merged into tell this beautiful story. I would say that this book was mostly character driven, maybe not particularly plot driven. I would say it was mostly character driven. It wasn't particularly heading somewhere. There were a lot of nice plots and twists, but it explored their lives. It's almost like looking at the daily lives of people and seeing some of the drama that has happened, you know, in some parts of their lives and the consequences of those dramas. So I know that there was one thing that really got me, off about the writing style was I felt like the editor, you know, I don't know what happened, but I don't like it when I'm reading books and the tenses are a little bit off. Like you're writing in the past tense, why are you now talking about the present tense? Like you say something like she had always known that he was going to betray her, and so she had always put her trust in him. The way she's putting her trust in him now, the way she is, no, like stick to the past tense. And so I found that there was that once in a while I'll be reading and then I'll see the present tense when the book was like set mostly in the past tense. So I didn't like that. I felt like it was some slip up, and if it was intentional, then it, as a reader, it just threw me off a lot of times. I love reading books where the tenses are consistent all through. If you are writing in the present, write in the present. If you're writing in the past, write in the past. So that sort of threw me off, and it wasn't like, you could tell it wasn't a strategic thing. It was probably like maybe some editing, whatever. But that being said, it didn't take too much away from the book. So I enjoyed the writing style. I know that towards the end, at some point, the author adopted a first-person narrative to tell Gigi's story, a part of Gigi's story. And I didn't mind it, to be honest. It didn't take anything away from the awesomeness of the book or what the author was trying to convey with the plot, the setting, and the characterization. Now to the characterization of this book, which is one of my favorite things about this book. This is, like I said, I keep on using the word intentional to describe the writing of this book, because I feel like the author was very, very intentional about everything that she put down in this book. See, all the characters were well developed, from Fifi to Gigi to Alana to Lotana DK. Lotana DK was Fifi's husband, and this character, who was, I don't even know, there's like, it was an in-between thing between him being a major and minor character, but I would say he was a minor character. He was written beautifully well. He was written beautifully well, and I really commend the author for that. You know, I don't want to give too much away, so I'm not really going to describe his character, but I really loved his character. And it's weird because, I mean, he's not particularly a major character, but it just goes to show you what she really put into writing these characters. All their characters were well developed. Even Eddie, Eddie Deong, who was a minor character, his character was well written. And I just really liked the intentionality behind the building of these characters. Of course, I loved Gigi's character, but I really commend the author for doing a great job on the characterization. I found that this book, as much as I liked it because it was juicy, it was drama filled, it was like, oh, tell me more, you know, there was a whole lot of things going on, but also it had some really nice themes, you know, love, faithfulness, fidelity in marriage, you know, intentionality, friendship, betrayal. There was a lot of that, and just that nice sisterhood between the characters and the consequences of dealing with certain actions. I really loved the ending. I felt like the 1 year later, after everything had, in quotes, blown up, the ending was lovely. It was why am I smiling too much? Whatever. It was lovely. It was really nice, you know, and I wondered how it was going to end, especially for Gigi, but you know what? I don't mind how the author wrote it. Even if she had written it in a way that went the other way, which if you read this book, you know what I mean, I also would not have minded, because that's how life is at the same time. So honestly, all in all, lovely book. I would give this book like a strong 8.9 over 10, because I really enjoyed it. Other than the few things with the writing and the editing and the tenses, I really enjoyed it, and this was time well spent on reading. So if you're looking for a nice fiction book written by a Nigerian author, this is an amazing woman who's doing great things. Yeah, pick this book up and read. You can get it from bookstores in Nigeria. Maybe it's available on Amazon or so. But yeah, Bina Idonije, you did a great one on this one. So yeah, if you've read this book or you want to read it, let me know in the comments as well. So thank you guys so much for watching this one, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.